Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12. I covered.
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. How are you? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the book. He is Dave Sherapan. I am Matt Perrault. We're on a little bit later due to some internet issues on my end. Hopefully everything's going to work out smoothly today because we've got two great guests for you guys coming up. Joe Sheehan's coming on here in 1 second. Major League Baseball Tuesday like we've been doing here on BVB. And then Adam Hill is going to stop on by, talk about some UNLV, some Raiders, a lot of good stuff happening in the Vegas market. So we'll check in with the one and only Adam Hill from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Dave, how are you on this Tuesday? A lot of baseball on the docket, a lot of football too, though. How are you?
Oh, yeah, good. Better than people are that had the Bengals in the Survivor. That's done. That's not anyone that survived this crazy couple weeks and got to Monday night and said, good, I got an 8-point favorite. I should be all right. Let's get this one in. Washington had some other things to say about that. So it's good. It's good Tuesday. We got final week of regular season baseball, so we had to go get a baseball guy, talk about all this. Joe Sheehan, friend of the program, has been here before. It's all good. It's a good Tuesday. It's a good Tuesday.
We'll get to Joe here in just 1 second, but at the top, we just have to mention it just because it's one of the more remarkable things in recent memory. The Washington Commanders continued to beat down the Survivor contest with a 38-33 win over Cincinnati. The numbers it's almost hard to believe the numbers that we're seeing out of this. In 2020, there were 1,390 entries in the Circa Survivor. After week 3, there were 675 entries. There were 14,266 entries into the 24 version of the contest. And in week 3, only 242 have survived to see week number 3, Dave. I mean, what do you make of this?
It's the first time since 2001, thanks to sportsodddshistory.com, outstanding website that references, past odds, past things. First time since, there it is right there, since 2001, the 3 largest favorites of the week lost 3 weeks in a row. So you figure if you take Cincy in the first week, you're like, Baltimore will get it done the second week. They're 8.5-point favorites. No, they lose. And then you go, all right, that can't possibly happen again. And it just did. It's incredible.
The public is getting killed.
Incredible.
The public is getting killed. Public sides are now 17-30-1 ATS. That's 36%. That's the second worst start in the last 20 years. 6-10 in week 3, 5-10-1 in week 2, and 6-10 in week number 3. Mm-hmm. It is hard to imagine a more crazy start. It's the first time in over 70 years the biggest underdog in each of the 3 weeks have all won the game outright. Forget covering.
Yep.
They won the game outright. Dogs of 6 or more points are 8-5 straight up. Straight up. 8-5. 12-1 ATS. Dogs of 7 points or more are 4-0 straight up. 4-0. And 4-0 against the spread.
Yep.
I mean, is this the book just overvaluing? Like, what do you make of these numbers? Because this is, we're not just talking about, you mentioned before, the book puts the number up, people bet it and kind of shave the number down, and that's how we get to the number. How are these numbers this off?
What do you mean off? They're perfect.
They're perfect.
What are they supposed to be?
Well, you have someone who's favored by over a touchdown and they're 4-0 against the number, losing the game or 4-4 straight up.
Is the number bad?
Which is which? Number bad, algorithm bad.
I don't know.
The public and the pros and the books are all in agreement here. Otherwise, someone would bet the dog over and over and over again. The number would come screaming down. So there is clearly somebody who agrees with this, that the number should be this high for teams like the Bengals, who are now a victim of this 2 times.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think anybody can say the number's off. Books are having record months. Books are fine.
Oh, the books are fine. It's just the numbers put the book up, then the public and pros come in and bet it, and that's how we get to the final number. The pros agree. The pros have agreed the Bengals should have been monster favorites yesterday.
Yeah, they all had
dead wrong.
Teaser, right?
Dead wrong.
I'm still trying to figure out who the sharp money is in all this.
At least early.
Yeah,
early in the year.
I mean, early in the year or every day, 365. I'm just trying to figure out who the sharp guys are, who the public is. It's what do I make of it? It's a dream for the books. There's guys that opened up paperhead sports books that think that this is going to be their retirement. Just go get the money for the non-post up guys. Everybody got to relax. I think it's just, I don't know. Everybody keeps texting me, boy, you were right. Nobody knows shit. I'm not saying I was right or wrong. I'm just saying this is fact. Yeah. It's just fact. I don't think you can make anything of it. I'm still trying to find out again. It happens every year. There's more people on Twitter. You can't even open it up between the election and the people starting LLC, professional handicapping services. It can't keep track of both. Like it's incredible. So yeah, it was a good week for some. It was a bad week for others. I can't understand it. I just know that, like, since he's been favored 3 weeks in a row. Did you see the line this week?
No. What is it this week?
Since he goes to Carolina.
6?
Well, it was 7 before the game last night. It's 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Red Rifle.
So, do you have good CLV if you got Carolina? I don't know. If you got, you got the right side.
I just wonder.
4.5 with Cincy, they're going to win a game.
Is my Zach Taylor prediction finally correct?
Right?
We'll see. Did it finally come true that this guy does not know what he's doing? Does it finally come true this year? I don't know, but I have not been on the Zach Taylor. I mean, people in Cincinnati are irate at the start because they have Joe Burrow. They have a defense that is just full of holes right now. They have an offense that can move the ball at times, but I mean, last night, if you had told me the Commanders were favored by a touchdown, I would have believed you. They look like the better team the entire game.
What was that stat? I think you got it in around that Washington hasn't punted.
Yeah.
Yet?
And no, they haven't punted for 2 straight games. The first team in the Super Bowl era were the last 2 games in a row. They've not punted or turned the ball over.
What are the chances of that?
13 straight drives. They've scored on 13 straight drives, not including kneel downs.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
Wow.
The Commanders, the Washington Commanders. I thought James Daniels couldn't pass.
I still don't like the name.
I don't either, but you gotta like the way they're playing football right now. So we'll get to that coming up on the other side of our conversation with Joe Sheehan. Because let's talk Ohtani, let's talk baseball, let's talk history, because there's a whole lot of it going on right now. Let's talk to Joe Sheehan, been covering the game of baseball for a long time, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Joe, great to have you back on. Appreciate your time. Matt and Dave with you here. First question out of the gate is kind of a layup and a softball one, but as a guy who's watched the game for a very long time, what accolades, what superlatives, what can you say about the season that Ohtani is having this year for the Dodgers?
Kind of run out of them by now, Matt. It's just a season we haven't seen. Remember, this is a guy who made his fame as both a hitter and a pitcher. This year, he said, he has the elbow injury, can't pitch this year. Oh, I'll just go out and have the best power speed season in baseball history and approach 60 home runs and have all of these clutch moments. See, the September he's having is the really impressive part for me, Matt. Remember, with the Angels, he played out the string 6 straight years. Well, he was hurt for one of them, but he never had to play. He never had big at-bats. In this September, he's had more high leverage at-bats for the Dodgers than he had in his career for the Angels. It's just been so much fun to watch. Guys, did you see the homer he hit on Sunday to tie the game? Watch him going around the bases. He is just having so much fun right now because it's an experience he hasn't had since he was in NPB. Getting to win, getting to be part of this team. So, yeah, I mean, I can hang numbers on it, I can hang words on it, but the expression on his face when he was scoring, when he was coming around third the other day, says more than anything I ever could.
First of all, Joe, you look great. Thanks for joining us.
Honestly, it's getting kind of warm. Do you guys mind if I take this off?
No, nice
I'm
move there,
England, Joe.
nice move.
I'm in New England, Joe.
I knew it. I love it. All right, good work, Sheehan.
Red Sox team total over. We hit it last night.
The Red Sox nonsense, please.
Like all three of us, we're getting ready to root our teams on in the playoff. Oh,
no, not me.
I guess not. Sorry.
Just you. Dave and I are not.
Hold on.
Just you.
This is why I only get invited on like once every 6 months.
No, you can come on every week if we can figure out the right time. I love talking to baseball with you. But
hey,
I also
you did say the Royals were dead, though, Joe. You did say the Royals weren't making the playoffs.
Hold on.
They still might not. They
still might not. Hold on. What's the newsletter that for the people that are watching the show and going to watch the replay later? Because we're doing a September push to the playoffs for major league teams, a September push for Joe Sheehan newsletter readers. What's the newsletter before I forget?
You can go to joesheehan.com. You can get all the information. You can read excerpts of recent newsletters, full ones. We've got a whole page of free stuff from going back, I've been doing the newsletter for 14 years. I think there's the stuff on the free page goes back about 10, but it's where you can read about baseball. It's where you can follow the game. I come from a stated perspective. I was one of the original guys on Baseball Prospectus, and the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers, but I love the game too, and I like to think that comes through in the writing. I cover on field, off field. Obviously, right now the focus is on these pennant races. I wrote today about this Dodgers Padres series coming up, and
yes,
I'll write about the Mets Braves tomorrow. Yesterday, I covered the White Sox, who are going to set the all-time loss record sometime this week. So, catching everything, and very fortunate. I get to write about the game for a living. Certainly not like breaking rocks.
That's perfect. Now, you wrote about the newsletter, and I said, well, this is great. I have to get Joe on, not just to wear the Yankee stuff, because, I mean, it does look good, Joe. I can't even lie.
It's a little tight. It's a
little tight. You got to get out and do a little exercise instead of sitting there writing about all this baseball. But was Ohtani 6 for 6? You're talking about like his September things. The 6 for 6 game in Miami to go 50-50 was ridiculous. Was that the best single game stat line? I mean, you throw in the steals. How can you argue that it's not a 6 for 6, 3 homer, 10 RBI, 2 steals, and become the charter member of the 50-50 club? What better game individually is there?
I mean, Ohtani himself has probably had better games, throwing 7 shutout innings and having a game-winning RBI back in, I think it was 21 with the Angels. You think about Rick Wise throwing a no-hitter and hitting a couple home runs. I mean, there have been a lot of great games in baseball history. I look, 6-4, 6-10 is an incredible box score line, and that's kind of where I came from writing about it. But it was a getaway day in front of 11 people at Lone Depot Park in Miami. He hit the 3rd home run against the shortstop. I think you got to. If we're really going to talk about, if we're going to say greatest game ever, I think the context and the fact that one of the homers was hit off a position player has to be a factor.
Fair. What does Ohtani look like in the playoffs? Because we've never seen it. This is a guy who thankfully got out of the Angels organization, unlike Mike Trout, who's stuck in that Siberia for the rest of his career. What do you make of him in the clutch? Is this going to be an offense that can power the Dodgers to a World Series victory? Because their pitching is, well, let's just be frank, it's suspect, and they've got matchups with the National League teams that have better pitching than the Dodgers do.
No, just like last year and the year before, the Dodger offense will carry them to the. Oh, that didn't work out. And this is the problem. This is the problem they have going into this fall. Like, they set up their team. They figured Yamamoto, Glasnow, Kershaw, Buehler. They traded for Flaherty, but now Glasnow's out for the year. Gavin Stone's out for the year.
Buehler, I don't even know if he'll start a game, will he?
And Buehler hasn't been very good. I mean, they lost Gavin, they lost Stone. They just have real issues with the front of the staff. And you remember last year against the Diamondbacks, their starters blew that series for them. It was something like 13 runs and 3 1/3 innings combined over 3 innings. Just a horrible performance. They were out of those games early. Now, even Yamamoto coming back, he hasn't gone to the 5th inning yet. We're not sure what we're going to get out of him. Jack Flaherty is suddenly the rock of this rotation. Flaherty's a good pitcher, but Flaherty, Yamamoto, is Tony Gonsolin going to get a start? Are they going to go tandem with Gonsolin and Flaherty? Kershaw? Are they going to be able to use Buehler? Buehler hasn't been good. Buehler has 3 quality starts all season. So, and he hasn't, even in his good starts, it tends to be like, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, gets knocked around a little bit. It's just, he hasn't looked like the guy he was before surgery. So I have serious concerns. I mean, they'll likely get the bye. They've got to hold on to the division. They play unless the Padres sweep them, they will probably win the division. But if you're looking at a potential second round series against the Padres, against the Mets, against the Diamondbacks, these are all teams that, as you say, they can hit, but they're going to put better starters on the mound. So the Dodgers, who spent a lot of money to not be in this position, are in this position again.
Right. And kind of complete opposite in the National League, which we'll stay before we get to the American League. The Phillies clinched yesterday and are getting set up to have the bye week, or the bye as well, and the off week and all that other stuff. Pretty good front end of the rotation, Joe. Are they the favorite in your eyes in the National League? Like,
I have trouble teasing out the Phillies and Padres right now. And I do, Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, that's a strong top 3. The offense, all the same stars they've had in recent years. I think the Padres now, when you look at them getting Musgrove and Darvish back to go with Dylan Cease and Michael King, a bullpen that has no bad pitchers in it. I mean this. They could have 8 guys on their playoff roster in that bullpen, and none of them are below average. So that kind of depth can help you get through these long postseason series. So I look at the Padres right now. And really, they were as good last year as they are this year, but they won all the extra inning games this year, and they did win them last year. But if you look at the roster going into October, I think they're the most dangerous team in the National League.
Let's stay in the National League. Mets Braves, that last wild card spot. They start a series today. Who is getting in, the Mets or the Braves? And does one of these teams sweep the other, or do we have kind of a wash and repeat? You win, we win, you win, you win, go back and forth, and we wind up with the Mets still with the lead at the series. It's a game and a half as we start play today.
The most likely outcome of any 3-game series is 2-1 one way or the other. And this is a situation where the Braves need to sweep. They're 2 back with 3 to play. The winner of this series will hold the tiebreaker, but that would, even taking 2 out of 3, would still leave the Braves a game back with 3 to play this weekend. Mets fans are terrified, though. They remember 2 years ago, next to last series, go into Atlanta, get swept, and lose the division because of it, land in the wild card series, lose to the Padres. That was the best Mets team in a long time, and they ended up tying for the division title in the first year where we didn't have a playoff game, where we had tiebreakers. So Mets fans aren't going to be Mets fans aren't going to be comfortable until they win one of these games. If the Mets win just one, they'll be a game up without the tiebreaker going into the final series. I think they'll be safe. But until the Mets win one, Mets fans are going to be terrified. Interestingly enough, the Diamondbacks' recent slump has put them in this mix as well. They had a pretty good lead over the Mets and Braves for a while. Now they're tied with the Mets. They're 2 up on the Braves, and they lose tiebreakers to everybody.
Wow. All right, that was good. That summed up the National League. Now, you're wearing the Yankee stuff. And I got to say, again, it looks great. But why are the Yankees not going to win the American League, sir? Because you came on in the summer. We kind of wrote off the Royals and said they're hanging around and they just won't go away. The Twins, we got a ton of people in Minnesota that watch the show, listen to the show. We've been telling them that the Twins are going to exit their way out of the playoffs. There's a lot of chaos, it feels like, in the American League. And I'm just trying to find the other side of a baseball exact, if you know what I'm saying. And why am I not just putting the Yankees with the rest of the American or with the other National League teams? Who else, Joe, is going to beat the Yankees in the American League?
Well, this is another – in recent years, we've had this top tier of teams. And this year, we don't have that. The best teams in baseball, none of them are going to win 100 games. It's possible nobody gets even to a 600 winning percentage. And that hasn't happened in almost a decade. So all of these teams at the top are kind of clustered together. I haven't actually looked at World Series odds in a couple of days, but it feels like that's reflected in the odds where the top teams are closer to the pack than they would be. But I still think the value is going to come in those teams that even might not get into the playoffs as of today. A week ago, I had a reader ask me for, some long shot picks, and the value on these isn't always great. But the Mariners, who at that point were, I think, 3 games out of the field, were 66-1 to win the AL, not the World Series, just the AL. And I gave that to him. I said, if they can just get in, they can win 2 series because they've got this incredible pitching staff. Well, now they've won a few games. They're 2 games, 1.5 out of the playoff field at this point. If they get in that 66-1 ticket, you can hedge off of that. You'll get some great value. I would think the same that even now. I look at the Mariners. I look at whoever has the higher odds between the Mets and the Braves, I think is an interesting pick because both of them in this week NL could win 2 series. Here's the thing about these playoffs, guys. In the 2 years of this format, the 6 and 5 seeds have reached the World Series last year was between a 6 and a 5.
Yes,
but
it was.
They've gotten to the NLCS. I believe it's 5 out of the 8 series have been played as 6 and a 5. So the odds you're going to see are probably maybe not reflecting the odds that they should be getting. So you look at the teams that are going to be in those wild card spots, the Diamondbacks, the Tigers if they get in, whoever finishes in that 5 spot in the AL, whether it's the Twins or the Mariners or the Royals. These are the teams where I think there might be some value.
Okay. So the Tigers are playing right now. Let's just take the Orioles and put them in. The Red Sox are going to win 80 games like I thought, but the Rays, we'll see. Let's take those 2 teams and cross them out. Royals, 74 losses. Tigers, 74 losses. Twins, 75 losses. Mariners, 76 losses. 4 teams, 2 spots. Who's getting in from the American League on the wild cards?
I had said the Twins all year. And obviously, the guys playing hurt. They've rushed back Correa and Buxton. They don't really look very good. Losing Joe Ryan crippled their starting rotation. The bullpen's got knocked around a bit lately. I mean, this getting swept in Boston after you basically eliminated Boston Friday night. Like Red Sox, if they'd swept that series, their whole season would look different. But they lost Friday night. So the Twins were in position. They clear the bullpen Saturday. They have an off day Monday. And they're never able to get their leverage relievers into the game. So obviously they're in trouble now. They do play the Orioles this weekend, and that'll be interesting because the Orioles might not have anything to play for. They might be locked into that 4 seed. And because you're the 4 seed, you have to play starting Tuesday. There's not a lot of motivation for the Orioles to play any of their good players. Now, it's not like it used to be with the 40-man rosters in September. Some of the good players have to play just because you got to put a team on the field. But, the Twins could be in position to take advantage of an Orioles team that doesn't care whether it wins or loses. I look at the Royals. They've got the Nationals this week, and then the Braves of the weekend. And that's another situation where if the Braves have been eliminated, that's much different than playing the Braves still fighting for a wild card spot. So how difficult that series is for the Royals is going to be hard to read. I'm stalling before giving you an answer because at this point, it's hard to separate these teams. Like the Tigers have the Rays this week. The Tigers play the White Sox this weekend, guys.
Yes, they
the Tigers
do.
Don't play any more teams over 500. They expect to go 4-2 or 5-5 or 5-1 this week. So it looks right now, if you had to look at schedules and how the teams are playing and the talent on the field, like the Detroit Tigers are going to go from selling at the trade deadline to the wild card.
It's all
Is this
about
not a great
the
story? This is a great story. I love this. I'm going to be wrong about this, but it's one of those times where I'm happy to be wrong. If we get the Detroit Tigers sellers at the deadline with, by the way, AJ Hinch is part of that story. The management he's done in that rotation. All of the young players they're relying on. They recalled Spencer Torkelson. They recalled Parker Meadows. They traded for Trace Sweeney, who'd been passed around this year from the Yankees to the Dodgers to the Tigers. And he replaced Javier Baez and has been better than Baez both offensively and defensively. This is a fantastic story.
They trade Flaherty, and Baez gets hurt, and they make this run. They get the Astros right now, the way it sets up, if they get the 6 seed, right?
6-3. Well, and they could get the 5. I mean, the way things are shaping up. And so, but yeah, if they're in the 6, you've got AJ Hinch going to Houston in a playoff series.
That's can't write it any better.
No, you can't.
But okay, let's go to the negative though. I mean, you called it. You thought the Royals were not going to make the postseason. They've lost 7 straight games in late September.
Nobody wants to win it though.
How do you? I mean, if the Royals get in, aren't they an automatic fade with the way they're playing right now? They've lost 7 straight.
It's a best of 3, and they get to put Seth Lugo and Cole Reagans on the mound. Now, they can't score. It's Bobby Witt doing the Kelly Leak thing and just having to be the entire team. But, I mean, there's just nobody else around him. But they're a team that could go out and just allow 1 run in 2 games and advance. That's the nature of a best of 3. So I can't write anybody off in a best of 3. And because the Royals have that run prevention, if they were to square up with the Tigers, you could have 2 runs scored in that entire series, 2 1-0 games in a sweep. So I'm not writing anybody off, but I will say that the Royals, they desperately need some W's. Because like I say, they've got to play that series this weekend in Atlanta. They could be in trouble. We'll see how it shakes out. On talent right now, the Mariners to me are the best of this group.
Wow.
They've been one of the best offensive teams in September after a year of not hitting at all. Randy Arozarena has been good for them. Julio Rodriguez is finally healthy and hitting well. Cal Raleigh has been quietly one of the top 5 catchers in baseball. Excuse me, guys.
All right. Get a drink. Get a drink.
You're
getting choked up talking about the Mariners. I mean, this is as the Mariners have been choking. You're getting choked up, Joe.
Roy's a
I can do be a little more flexible. The Mariners, if they get into the playoffs, Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Miller,
scary.
That's terrifying. So if you're the 3 seed, the Astros, you don't want to see the Mariners. I think that's the one team in this mix you're hoping falls out or advances to the 5. The catch is the Mariners lose tiebreakers to everybody. They blew a 5-0 lead on Sunday to the Rangers, and that's going to make a huge difference in their chances this week. They basically have to run the table.
Yeah. All right, that's some good playoff talk. We got to talk a little bit about postseason awards. There's only really one that's, to really be decided. I mean, Tawny's winning the MVP in the NL. Judge is winning the MVP in the AL. I don't know yet about the Cy Youngs. I mean, I think Skubal obviously wins that, and then Sale wins that in the National League. But this Rookie of the Year thing has been incredible line movement and knowing it and then not knowing it. And the guy's a pitcher and a guy's a player. One's guy going to make the playoffs. One guy is not. Is there any shot, Joe Sheehan? Not that you have a vote, but if you were voting, who would you vote for the National League Rookie of the Year? Would it be Merrill or would it be the mustache man, Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh Pirate? Not a future Yankee. Don't even say that shit, Joe.
So with the caveat that I don't really look at awards until the season's over. So Sunday night, I'll sit down and I'll do my ballots.
Wow.
I think I'm going to have Merrill over Skeens. And I gave out Skeens as Rookie of the Year at the start of the year. But Merrill has been on that team all year. 1,200 innings in center field has an incredible amount of value. Skeens is going to end up with a fairly short season. He's been dominant, and I don't think there's a wrong answer here. You've also got Mason Wynn of the Cardinals, who's been one of the top defensive shortstops in baseball. He played from there. It's been a very strong year for rookies in the National League. I think I'm going to have Merrill over Skeens and win. And again, I might sit down on Sunday and see it differently. But playing a full season at a new position, being an above-average hitter, and he's been average in center. He's not a good center fielder yet, but again, it's his first time playing it. I think I'm going to go with Merrill over Skeens. Skeens has had a more spectacular performance. Started the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Incredible. The mustache, obviously.
Sub 2 ERA, Joe.
He's been great. He's been absolutely great. Of course, let's not look. If we're going to talk about stuff on the margins, this isn't an area where I usually go. But the Pirates haven't played a relevant game in 6 weeks.
Damn it!
Merrill has
this is why you can't come in this place.
Look, I'm not somebody who usually considers team performance. It's an individual award. But these guys are so close that maybe you have to go down the line and say, okay, where am I going to find my separators? And one of the separators is Merrill's done this for a team that is going to make the playoffs and might catch the Dodgers for the division title. Right. And Paul Skeens has basically done it in anonymity.
Yeah, where were you in 2018 when Mookie Betts should have won the MVP for the Red Sox and went to Mike Trout, who didn't play?
He did win that year.
Didn't play. What's the year? No, it was 2016. Sorry, 2016 when Mike Trout won the MVP without playing a relevant baseball game since July 4th, and the Red Sox go on and play. I forget what happened that year.
Every year is different.
Yeah,
it's very rare for me to consider team performance for an individual award. I think the last time I really did it was there was a Lincecum Santana Cy Young year where I couldn't separate them, and it came down to one of the teams was good, one of the teams wasn't.
Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of talk. I'm in New Hampshire, but obviously I live in Vegas, and Dave as well. So John Fisher writes a letter to the A's fans that has now turned into like this running bit on social media, and even anchors in Oakland are reading it on the air and just ripping John Fisher for his trying to sell that they wanted to stay and they're really sorry about moving, but they've got to leave. What are you hearing internally about the move, and how optimistic is Major League Baseball that after 3 years in Sacramento that the A's are going to be successful in Las Vegas?
They're putting up a good face, and there's a lot of time between now and 2028. They feel like they've set up a good potential solution that if it has to extend into 28 in Sacramento, they'll live with it. I think they're underestimating what's going to happen when that actually starts. Right now, it's kind of an abstract concept, but when major league players who are used to certain facilities, certain amenities, start playing at Sutter Health Park, it's going to become a much different conversation. Minor leaguers who have played there and talked about this, it's not a major league park, and it's going to be hard enough for the A's to win under any circumstances, but you're going to have a lot of, road players coming in and looking for this weight room or this particular amenity or whatever have you. And I think this story is going to change a lot when we get to April and baseball in Sacramento becomes real, or when we get to July and baseball in 110 degrees outside in Sacramento becomes real. I mean, they've already literally built the entire schedule around the A's sharing this park with the Giants AAA team. I mean, that's the effect this is having. As far as Fisher himself, look, he can write what he wants. He owns the team. He can choose to say. He tried to make it about MLB forcing him to have a new ballpark by 2024. MLB didn't do that. MLB said to keep getting revenue sharing, you have to have a new ballpark by 2024. This is about Fisher getting corporate welfare from his business partners. That's all this is. The A's could have stayed in Oakland. He just wouldn't have gotten the free money from the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and whoever else. So this was entirely about a revenue sharing play. Moving to Sacramento is a revenue sharing play. Moving to Las Vegas. Stop me when I name a major market. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
All of these places are places that are small, medium markets. Tiny, really, in the case of the
Vegas is booming.
Vegas is booming. It's the 40th largest media market in the country.
True.
The secondary market is entirely tumbleweeds. It's tumbleweeds and armadillos all the way to Reno.
Vegas has 3 million people in it now. So like it's comparable to a lot of Major League Baseball cities right now, like Kansas City. It's comparable. But
right.
I get your point. I mean, Summerlin and Henderson are both big areas. I mean, the ballpark in Summerlin, where they just spent a $10 million ballpark for the AAA team, they draw more people to that than the A's do. And Oakland is a quasi-major market. So I think it comes down to, do they win? Do they give a product people want to be a part of? I mean, the Golden Knights are selling out 20,000 every single night because they won the Stanley Cup in 6 years, and they've been a great story. I don't think it's the market that's the worry. It's that you have so many home games to sell for a crap product for an owner that doesn't want to spend. And if they don't spend in Vegas, it's going to be the same thing all over again. A nicer ballpark, but nobody in the stands.
Well, the market matters because it caps your revenue, particularly when you're building a 30,000 seat park. So if you aren't able to bring in a lot of money, if you're basically going to be hot Milwaukee when it comes to TV revenues, and you're just going to be living off the national TV money, the revenue sharing, and whoever you can put in the park, to me, the philosophy should have been, let's build a 50,000 seat park and sell 3 million tickets, because they've capped themselves at 2.4 million a year. That's going to put them in the middle of the pack in attendance. Mind you, this is even if the park gets built. And
right.
I mean, I'm just talking about the plans right now.
Fair.
But the other thing is, I think the Sacramento plan is in part to be bad. If you're going to show up, if the A's were to go to Las Vegas next year and play in Summerlin, share that park with, or not share it, the minor league team goes somewhere else, regardless.
Aviators, right? Yeah.
You would burn off your honeymoon period playing an 11,000 seat park in 120 degree weather with a bad team.
Fair.
I think the hope is that when they open the new stadium, they'll be able to put a better team into it. So you kind of grasp that honeymoon period. I do think there'll be a honeymoon period. There is everywhere. I just don't think it's going to last very long. I truly believe the Las Vegas A's are just permanently going to be a small market team living off revenue sharing and national revenue, as opposed to actually being a successful team on the field and in the business. Nothing I've seen along the way. You bring up the Golden Knights, and I think that's a great comp. The Golden Knights belong to Las Vegas. They are Vegas's team. And yes, they hit the ground and they won, and that certainly helped.
But you're right, though. No
born
baggage.
Here.
No baggage.
No baggage.
Right. No baggage.
The Raiders have the same problem. The Raiders have tons of baggage, and nobody really feels like the Raiders are Vegas's team.
Don't the Raiders still mostly live off people coming in for the weekend? I actually don't know what the breakdown of the
You're right. Yes, 100%.
Right. The A's, people say, oh, people are going to fly into Vegas and see. Really? They don't go from Kansas City to watch the Royals. They're going to go from Kansas City to Las Vegas. This idea.
Fair.
Even if you just run the numbers, like how many seats on airplanes do you think there are from Cleveland to Las Vegas every week? You can't bring in 15,000 people to watch the Guardians play the A's. The entire business model predicated on people visiting is in part based on the Golden Knights thing. But here's the thing. That's getting Canadians to come to Las Vegas in January. Sign me up.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
that
That's
works.
That's easy.
Plus, you're only selling 18 times, 41, about 700,000 tickets a year.
Right.
A baseball team has to sell 2 million tickets. The math just is completely
Doesn't
broken.
matter. Yeah.
So, this has never been a good idea. I've been writing about this since last summer. They're driving this forward because all of the other owners know they're going to want to do this too. I mean, the Marlins just got a park, so maybe Sherman is going to want to. But most of the other owners know they're going to want owner support for some kind of scheme down the road. So that's why they're supporting this, when absolutely nobody outside of the people doing this in Las Vegas think this is going to work. You can't find a neutral, a writer, a reporter, a guy like me, anybody who says, oh, yeah, this is going to be great. Yeah. Nobody believes that.
Yeah, that's good. And that's why you need to read the newsletter, because you can see it from a different viewpoint and from outside.
So if you're watching this now, if you go to joesheehan.com, go to that free page. My stuff from last year on this move to Vegas and John Fisher is actually posted free. You can read that there.
Yeah, and that was keeping me with a neutral point of view from the local stuff here. But there's a lot of local people that are pushing back. Is there any chance they end up back in Oakland? Like, it doesn't come here and they go to Sacramento and they go, wait a second, this is never going to work. What are you doing? Let's just do it back in Oakland. Is that a chance, Joe?
So Thursday's the nominal last home game for the A's. And frankly, I think it's silly. The last thing A's fans are going to do is put a bunch of money in John Fisher's pockets, but it's not my fight.
$65 tickets, though.
They're going to sell it out. They've already sold
but
it.
that's not. I mean, like Red Sox, Yankees, even a pirate game for a skiing start. I mean, $65 is the most expensive ticket in the ballpark. It's not like, it's pretty cheap ticket.
Anyway, so I don't think that's going to be the last game the A's play in Oakland. I just don't think the Sacramento thing is going to work. They're not going to be able to move them to Vegas, both for practical reasons and because I don't think they want to be bad for 3 years in Vegas trying to get this ballpark built. I think they're going to end up back in Oakland at some point because it'll be the only option. I do not think they're going to spend 3 years in Sacramento. I just don't believe it.
With Fisher as the owner?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible that Fisher sells the team. A team intentionally moves them back to Oakland. I'm saying even if Fisher is still the owner, the situation in Sacramento is not going to support Major League Baseball for 3 years.
Wow. That's unbelievable. In particular, because the Vegas park where they're building it is such a precarious position to be in the busiest intersection in the entire state. And
it's also too small.
It's too small. It's not the retractable roof thing that was, then it wasn't. I mean, the renderings look ridiculous. It doesn't look like something that's going to fit. The plot of land is too tiny to really see a ballpark being built. It's just a comedy of errors, and it's just typical of the Oakland A's and the A's organization to go and say, we're going to move to Vegas and we're going to have this great success when the Raiders really haven't. The market needed Allegiant Stadium. Like, we needed in Vegas. We needed a gigantic for a Super Bowl or for big concerts and whatnot. We did not have a 65,000 seat facility. Now we do, thanks to the Raiders. So everyone's cool with the Raiders moving. We don't need another ballpark for 30,000 seats. We've got plenty of those in the market. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what when people said, I think one of the presentations at the hearings in Nevada, this might've been a year ago now, was talking about ancillary events there. And I'm like, that's the last place. You've got T-Mobile, you've got the Sphere, you've got smaller venues all over the place.
Yep.
You're not going to get concerts at this ballpark. 30,000 is kind of an awkward size anyway.
Right,
it's not really a stadium, but it's not an arena.
Yeah.
It's just this idea that they were going to fill it with. And I saw they were talking about the World Baseball Classic. Okay, you're going to get 6 ball games in March, every 4 years. And by the way, that's a time when Vegas doesn't need the help because it's the basketball tournaments are all
March Madness.
You actually can't fit people into hotels during that weekend. It's all the Mountain West teams and West Coast Conference teams and stuff. Like, that's the last thing. That's the last time Vegas actually needs the help. So, no, if you look at the plans for this ballpark, it's all just wish casting. And you guys have brought up a lot of the objections that people have made, and it's kind of shameful that MLB has gone along with this. And there's never been a time that the commissioner didn't work for the owners, but that's exacerbated now. That's basically the owner's labor lawyer is now the commissioner after having an actual owner be commissioner for 20 years prior to that. We just have nobody in charge of our sport right now, and it's depressing.
Last one for me, sir. Outstanding hit. We schedule you if we can. Just keep this spot open for us for Tuesdays for the playoffs, at least for the month of October, because we could keep this down in. The chat is loving your appearance, and they are putting in flights from Cleveland to Vegas and from Kansas City to Vegas. We have airline guys and all this other stuff, but they notice everything, Joe. And I never noticed this before when we've done the shows and hits before. Is that a Cowboys helmet over your right shoulder?
Yes, my.
Are you a Cowboys fan on top of the Yankees? You're a Cowboys guy?
People have given me crap about this. No, you root for Duke too. Look,
or the Lakers? You're not a Laker fan, are you?
I was 8 years old in 1979. You're picking your baseball teams. The Yankees were great. The Cowboys were America's team back then. I was a big Everson. Later it was Everson Walls, but then it was Drew Pearson and Tony Dorsett, Roger Staubach, Donnie White. I mean, I love those teams. So I have a problem with this whole idea that, you're just a front runner. Well, first of all, the Yankees and Cowboys both had some really fallow periods right after I picked them as my favorite teams. But second of all, stop dunking on an 8-year-old's picks. I picked these teams when I was 8. What am I supposed to do? Get to 28 and go, well, they're too good. I'm going to root for the Marlins and the Lions.
You are a Yankee fan, so the Giants and Jets have pretty much sucked for the last 30 years. So it is a little bit of a, like you're grabbing the Cowboys. It's a little bit on the side of leaving your home teams. Are you not?
1986, the Mets-Red Sox World Series. They were T-shirts. Steinbrenner's Nightmare. George Steinbrenner ruined my childhood. Don't tell me I'm a bandwagon guy. I moved to LA. I went to USC and I was living in LA. I missed the entire dynasty. I came back. They stopped winning World Series.
Interesting, but you're not.
The Cowboy thing is a little harder to defend.
You're not a Laker fan,
they haven't won anything in 25 years. No, I was a Nets fan growing up. Actually.
Okay.
Buck Williams, Mike Jaminski, Michael Ray Richardson. Those
guys.
As long as we're not doing the Lakers, we're good.
Where does USC fit into all this? I don't know.
That's fine. I mean, see
you on October 12th. Penn State
USC.
USC, Joe.
Good game. We'll get you out of here on this, and I don't want to hold you to it because obviously this can change. But if you had to pick one team right now that's going to win the World Series, who is your team right now as we head towards the last week of the regular season?
I will stubbornly stick with my preseason pick, the Dodgers.
Okay.
The pitching, I'm worried about the pitching too. Assuming they win the division and get the bye, that week of reset, 5 days, 6 days, will help them a lot. And the top of that lineup, Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, I'll take that for 2 weeks in the playoffs, 3 weeks in the playoffs.
It's going to be unbelievable to watch.
One of these years, they have to hit with runners in scoring position, right?
We'll see. Joe, thank you for the time. It's been a lot of fun. We'll do it very soon again, all right?
Joe Sheehan.
Thanks, fellas. Take care.
Go get the newsletter.
Awesome. Joe Sheehan, JoeSheehan.com, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Great to get him on talking Major League Baseball with us here on a Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to grab Adam Hill. Did he text you and say he's tied up?
I sent him a text while we were talking.
Okay.
Just popped my lip open again. Damn it. He has not responded back.
Okay. Things may be going on with him. So we'll see what happens with.
He's at a press conference or something, and I tried to get him on the side. There's a lot going on in Vegas.
For the Raiders? Yeah. I mean,
no, not even the Raiders. He's got that UNLV thing.
Yep, that's you. Right.
He's going sideways with that.
Yep, and we'll get to that story. We'll get to that story here in a second. Let's go back to the game last night, though, between the Commanders and the Bengals. Jaden Daniels set the NFL mark for rookie pass completions in a single game last night for percentage. 91.7% of passes, most ever for a quarterback starting or as a rookie with 20 passes minimum. What do you make of the kid through 3 games? Because he's been, I mean, there are some people in Chicago who are starting to question the Caleb pick.
First of all, everybody relax. What about that? All that. It's 3 games.
Right. Agreed.
I saw Aaron on Pat this morning, and he was giving them crap about, everybody overreacts. You guys included. And it was back and forth. It was pretty funny. Daniels was great last night. Not good, great. Took hits, extended drives,
scored touchdowns,
and threw a couple dimes. The dime with the game on the line got me to stand up in my living room. And my wife was like, "What are you so excited about?" I said, "That was the dagger." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "That was it. If they don't get that first down, since he lurks around, maybe goes down and scores. Washington's defense isn't good. Washington's offense was great.
38 points.
Excellent.
They're phenomenal.
I don't know. I was super impressed. I felt like Washington You saw the joy on the sidelines with the coaches. There's a team that got their guy.
Yeah, Dan Quinn. I was getting texts from people going like, "Is Dan Quinn back? Is Dan Quinn got a team again? Because it seems like the Commanders like playing for him. I mean, it seems like there's some real genuine excitement for that team right now, jumping up and down. And I'll be curious to see how this goes. I know it's only 3 games, but I mean, Jaden Daniels has Terry McLaurin smiling. He's dropping touchdown passes to him. He's picking up first downs with his legs, and he's scoring touchdowns in the red zone. And you start combining all those things together, and you're like, this offense is hard to stop. And as we've said, no one stopped them in the last 2 games because they haven't punted or turned the ball over for 2 straight games. That's the first time in the Super Bowl era that has happened.
So that's we just had Super Bowl 57, right?
Yeah, it's never happened. We're in back-to-back games. You never punted or turned the ball over. You ended every single possession with either a kneel down or points.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Or the clock ran out on them, but for 2 games, they haven't had a punter. The guy just sat there, did nothing. So but on the flip side, the Bengals are 0-3 since 1979. I know we extended to 18 games, but only 6 teams have made the playoffs after opening up 0-3.
Put this one on for the people, just in case.
Who's the worst 0-3 team in football right now? Bengals, Jags, or Titans?
I just asked, give the kids a poll question. Give the boys and girls in the chat. Got a nice crowd in, and there'll be an influx of people in the next 10 minutes because every day around noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, we get this rush of people. I think that's an easy decision right there. Bengals, Jags, or Titans. All are 0-3. For those of you watching live or listening, driving, wherever you're at, we appreciate the hell out of you. One, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Well, I'm waiting for it to pop up. There it is. It popped up in my chat, and I voted. I'm done. I voted.
Who?
Who did you vote?
Titans.
See, I voted Jags.
Titans are god-awful. Jaguars have a chance to turn it around. You have a quarterback, but they're bad. They're really bad. But the Titans, I agree to Juice. The Titans. LL says the Jags.
Juice says it's the Titans. Type it in the chat. Watch the chat.
No, yeah, it's up there. I mean, we have
a poll. Yeah,
it's going to be tight. I mean, it's not the Bengals. It's Jags or Titans, but I think it's the Titans just because I think Will Levis is a train wreck, and I don't believe the coaching staff knows what they're doing. So I think Doug Peterson has a chance to turn things around. But last night, I mean, that's one of the most impressive first halves you will ever see in the NFL. It was 34-3. Josh Allen throws for 4 touchdown passes in the first half. The Bills win the game 47-10. Josh Allen completed passes to 10 different receivers. I mean, as Jacksonville goes to 0-3 on the year, on the flip side, the Buffalo Bills, who's the best 3-0 team in the NFL? Got a bunch of them. Bills, Steelers, Chiefs, Vikings, Seahawks.
Which one doesn't belong?
2 of them don't belong.
2?
Yeah.
Huh.
Steelers, Seahawks.
Oh, you put the Vikings in there as a belong.
Now I can't overlook what they've done. I can't overlook the receivers. I can't overlook that they've been really impressive. I mean, I came into the year, I was very down on the Vikings, but I look who they beat. I mean, look what they're doing. Their 3 games, you want to stack up who played whom? Vikings 3 games are incredible. Who they've done, their wins for the first 3 weeks, home or not, is still really impressive.
Because they beat who? Houston?
And they beat the Niners.
The Niners, what's the Niners record?
They're banged up, but still, you beat the Niners. They're 1-2.
Okay.
But I no one saw that coming. They were big home dogs. They were home dogs to Houston. Yeah. Steelers and Vikings don't belong. I don't think the Seahawks belong. Steelers and Seahawks.
Steelers got the best defense in the league, 2nd or 3rd best at worst. They belong. There's no problem with that. Seahawks belong. I mean, that's when you look at this.
I agree.
Bills and Chiefs, obviously, they were favored and still are the Super Bowl favorites.
Second tier is Steelers, Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, I would vote Seahawks if I had to vote one.
If I'm picking one team, it's the Seahawks. Absolutely. If we're picking one, it's the Seahawks, 100%. The Seahawks were lucky to beat the
I mean, the
Patriots.
season wins
Yeah.
was probably the lowest for the Vikings. But again, they missed. You just missed. Wrong. Now, can it still go under? It's going to be highly unlikely right now.
But are you concerned that, for your defense, it's great, but your defense with TJ on the field and your team without him is dramatic. Without TJ Watt, you're one injury away from everything falling apart.
It's life.
Not really.
Life is one injury away.
I know, but some defenses can withstand that. Other teams can't. Your team can't. Your team.
Life is one injury away from falling apart. Not worried about what could be with an injury.
Well, he gets hurt every year. TJ Watt's going to get hurt no matter when.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year. Is he hurt yet? No. I mean,
well, Aaron also was an Iron Man who didn't get hurt any other time but last year.
Right.
TJ Watt's missed time in every season in the NFL, I believe.
Every single year, yeah.
So, he's going to get hurt. It's a matter of when does he get hurt and how long is he going to be out for? Yeah. Hopefully, just like an ankle, he misses a game or two, like nothing significant, nothing serious. I mean, there's injuries in particular this week, guys. When you're talking about handicapping and talking about survivor picks this week, you got to look at the injuries. Because there are so many offensive linemen who are on the IL who are going to miss games this week. Bosa, talking about huge. Christian McCaffrey is going to Germany to get his Achilles looked at.
Why is that?
Because it's the treatment over there is supposedly, not allowed here. So he's going over there to get it. It's bad. He could be out for the whole year. It's really bad. McCaffrey may not play this year. Bosa's hurt for the Chargers. That's dramatic. High ankle sprain for Herbert. He played on a high ankle sprain. That means he's not playing this week. He's not going to play for another month, probably. He's going to go up.
Bye week is week 5. So he shouldn't have played. In hindsight, don't play him in Pittsburgh. Don't play him this week against Kansas City. Although those are two vital games in the scheme of things. Yes, you got a bye week in week 5. Let's sit for 3.
And then play after. Right.
And now let's go get it.
But they panicked, and Harbaugh panicked, and I would agree. I would have said him too. If I was Harbaugh, I'm like, you know what? We want to win this game in Pittsburgh, but we have to play. Let's get a backup quarterback ready. Instead, Herbert either talked his way in or whatever, but in the third quarter in a 10-10 football game where he looked really good, he took one bad hit on that ankle, and that was it. He was out, and you could tell he re-injured it. The drugs wore off, and it's bad because he's not playing this week, and he's not playing for a while. After the bye, we're talking a long time. We may not see him for a month for the Chargers.
Yeah. Our friend Darren Sumner just came in the chat and said Seahawks played Nix, Brissett, and Skyler.
Fair.
Not sold on that yet.
Shouldn't be.
That's my hesitation.
He's right.
Thank you for being here, Darren.
He's right.
And again, we're still trying to figure out who is good, who isn't good. It's much easier for me coming from the places that I've come from back in the day in Curacao to now to when I was a little kid watching this going, who's bad? We'll find out who's good. And whoever's good is good this week until they get hurt or something other stuff. All right.
Well, it's all a mess. This year this has been the most incredible
like
topsy-turvy.
It's like this every year. I
don't think that's true, Dave. It's not like this every year.
It is this every year.
The numbers tell you differently. That's the first time in 70 years. This is not. Those numbers tell you it's not like this every year. This is ridiculous.
They win outright. Yes. But dogs
covering,
win.
period. Just look at the biggest dogs winning the game and not even covering. They're winning outright. I don't think this isn't typical. This has been the most topsy-turvy year. I don't blame people for going, I don't know what to do with the NFL this year because it's incredible hard. It's hard to pick just a team to cover, let alone win the game. Huge dogs are winning outright.
Yeah. And
so
again,
it's hard.
Make the numbers. It's been hard. And I'm telling you, it's maybe more hard or more exacerbated this year. But this is the hardest sport to win, the hardest sport to bet, the hardest sport. It's the easiest sport to book in the world. Just put up the numbers and take the bets. It's really, really hard. And it's changing a lot. Right. And our friend of the show, Tyrone Boyd, come in and chat and said, gentlemen, the first 3 weeks of the regular NFL season is reality the last 3 weeks of the preseason. It's become that. He's right. And the NFL needs that since they went to the 3 games. And they're going to go to 2 now. So what happens with in the first, when we get to 2 now, what do we do? Because that's going to be even more difficult. We start our own survivor contest is what we do. That's what we do. we start our own survivor contest because it's a completely a crapshoot at the beginning, and the numbers are up. And like, it's a fun thing to make numbers for the whole season in May.
Look, I think there's a lot of people that feel this way.
Zach with a nice Houston Texans. Thank you for being here, Zach. I think I'm off betting NFL for the rest of the year. I'm going to stick to college.
So this is the dirty little secret.
Wow.
This is the dirty little secret this has been this way for a long time. And this is where Dave is right. So if you go back, I don't know, I've been in media now for 24 years. In all my 24 years, the heaviest spend from the sports books, both onshore and offshore, and the handicappers, the heaviest spend is the first 4 weeks of the NFL season. They all want to be a part of it. Because then come October, the public has lost. And the public runs out of money. And the public says, forget it, I'm done betting the NFL.
Right.
A lot of people feel that way. So a lot of people feel like I have more success betting college football than I do betting the NFL. And there's some truth to that. There's more consistency in college football. There's more of a trend that will hold in college football. Trends in the NFL go up and down, and they're there 1 month, 1 second, and they're gone the next. I mean, primetime unders were very profitable. Whoops. What happened last night? We had 2 Monday Night Football games, and we had like 150 points be scored.
Yeah.
So like trends are great until you play in the NFL, and then they're out the window, left and right. They're gone. Speaking of college, was asked by Dave's Daily Picks of me during he DM'd me this, and I thought he says, he asked if you and I will talk about this.
Right.
He wants to know our opinion of buying points in college football. It comes off of a bet that I made on the Daily Juice yesterday, where I bought Penn State down to 17 from 17 and a half.
What?
From 17 and a half.
Why did you do that?
Because it's the easier number. It falls 17, and I don't want to get hooked, and it's cheap. It was minus 125. It wasn't expensive to do it. So just an insurance policy. You only pay the juice when you lose. So if it wins, it doesn't matter what I lead from a juice perspective, and I got 17.
So it makes you feel better doing it.
It makes me feel better. It's just an insurance policy. I'm paying for insurance like you would pay for insurance on a blackjack table. It's just an insurance play. You don't need to do it. You can lay the 17 and a half if you want. James Franklin's record, we'll get to it later in the rundown about what he is between 6 and 24 points. He's 17-0-1 over his last 18 games with a spread of 6-24. He's a machine.
Okay, because Dave's Daily Picks texted me while I was at the doctor this morning and asked me this question. And I'm like, why would you buy it? And he said, well, no, I'm asking you, would you do it? I said, well, I wouldn't do it, but other people do it for their own self.
I don't tease college. I don't like teasing college football.
Yeah, don't ever tease college football.
Yeah, I don't do that, but I do. I will buy half a point if it's cheap. If it's minus 140, minus 150, no, I won't do it. But 125, it's up to you. This is the thing. It's up to your own opinion. My answer to him was like, do what you want. Like if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Like my opinion is, I'll buy it because it's cheap. It's to move it down from 17 and a half to 17. It's not a teaser. It's simply just paying more juice for a half a point. Now, 2.5 to 3 or 3.5 to 3 will be way more expensive. And I wouldn't really do that. I don't like doing that, but I bought Michigan State from 6.5 to 7 against Boston College. They lost by 4. So it didn't matter, but it didn't matter the price either because the bet won.
Yeah. And I mean, if you do it, I would never do it. There's no need to do it. And if you do it, it's on your own volition. Is it a good bet? I don't know. Some
wins,
people
who
will
cares?
say it's a good bet. Most people will say it's not. I would never recommend buying points on college football. But if that's what you want to do, look, I could give you the math and the reasons why. If you still want to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many things that we talk about on this show, and that Space talks about the expert and all this other stuff.
But Vitalis, I'll say this: people bet minus 150 money line all the time in college in Major League Baseball. They bet minus 150 money line all the time in Major League Baseball. So because the price matters.
Minus 200.
The price matters, right? But I'm saying the price matters. But what you're paying for juice depends upon. I mean, to me, I'm paying. If I'm paying $125 versus $140, like I get the idea, but like this juice is important. But I'm buying it for 115, 120. Like I get price sensitive when it comes to different things like teasers. I don't really get price sensitive when it comes to if I'm buying a half a point down to 17, and it's if they win by 18, I cover. If it lands on 17, I push. 16.5. That's why when Miami went to 16.5, I jumped all over Miami. I didn't like 17. I like 16.5. They won the game by 40. They destroyed. Didn't matter. So I get your point. It doesn't always matter, but it's not expensive for me to lay minus 110 or minus 125. The 15 cents doesn't bother me all that much. If it's just, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. So it may fall
but if you
17.
do it all the time.
Oh, no. No. It's dangerous to do it all the time.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yes.
Right.
Price sensitive matters. Your price matters to me. Just on certain games, if James Franklin's going to cover 17.5, he'll cover 17. He could land 17. He's pushed before. So it's a big number against an Illinois team that I like. So I would be more confident with 17 as a push potential.
The juice is important. You could lay a minus 400 and it'd be the right side, and it'd be a very good bet. And you could also lay 120 and it'd be a very bad bet. Like, it doesn't, there's no uniform way to apply the juice. There's no uniform way to say one way or the other. This works all the time. This works. Everybody's an expert at this point in the season. There's a lot of things happening. We got a lot of meetings and a lot of people coming to G2E to talk to us about things. I can't wait to sit down. Last time we sat down in a meeting a couple of years ago, G2E, they told us we were done. So I have no idea what's coming for G2E at this point, other than there's going to be a lot of people here with a lot of opinions about a lot of things. And you guys are more than welcome to email the show, thebvbshow.com, and ask us questions. Come in the chat every day. We're here. We're accessible. You can ask. I've told people at the counter with a 10-dime strap, I know the final score. It's an under. Well, no, I don't bet unders. Okay, I'm giving you the winner, and you still don't want to bet it. So you can give them parlays. They want to bet them. You can give them,
but you still have to win too. I mean, just because you say it's going to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. So
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if I had the winner, I've used this analogy at the counter. I have the winner. It's back behind the counter. I got that almanac thing. It's an under. And they're like, no, I'm not doing it. Okay. Well, then you do what you want.
Right.
So if
Which
you
is what you should do
on college football, good luck to you. Is it a good bet? No. I wouldn't recommend doing it ever, let alone on key numbers, because I don't really know what key numbers are in college football. There's so few and far between. But if it helps you sleep at night and you don't mind paying 125 when you can pay 110
for a different price, I mean, the number's going to go up. The number's going to go up. That number's going to close probably at 19 or 20. It's already 18.
Penn State game.
Penn State's already 18. It's going to run. It's going to run. The number's going to run. I want 17. I don't want 20.
Against
I don't
Illinois.
want. Yeah. It's Tuesday. It's already 18.
Yeah.
By the time everyone gets a hold of the number, by the time everyone gets a hold of the record for James Franklin being 17-0-1 when it's 16, 6 to 24 point spreads, everyone knows it. Everyone's going to talk about it. Number's going to run. So, and then it got me worried. I'm like, you know what? I don't want 18. I don't want 19. I don't want 20. I want 17. That's what I want.
Yeah, Circa's already taken a lead. They're using 18.5 to see if they can get the bet.
Okay, so there it is. So I want 17. So my point to Dave was, do what you want, but I want 17. I don't want to wait. I bought it now, and I bought it from 17.5 down to 17.
To Dave's Daily Picks. You have to continue to use when Dave's Daily Picks gets in here and starts with his bullshit. And I love you, Dave. I'm not saying you're wrong or right, but when you want to come in and start a pot and you talk to him, Matt, directly, it's Dave's Daily Picks. It's not Dave Sherapan.
Sorry. Yes. Different. Okay. I need to say Sherapan when I'm talking about these things.
Thank you.
So on that, to college football, Alabama, Georgia, the game that you're jacked up about, 1.5 point dog at the moment. Now we'll see what the number closes at, but right now, Bama is a 1.5 point dog to Georgia. The Tide have not been a home dog since 2007. We're talking 90 straight games at home as a favorite. It's been a long time since Alabama caught points at Bryant-Denny Stadium, Nick Saban Field.
A perfect lesson for all of you. You don't have to bet a game to enjoy a game.
Oh, no, true.
If I was to bet a game today on Tuesday in this game, it's gonna be Bama.
Really?
Yeah.
Top 5 teams as a home dog since 1990 or 18-53 straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like, it's Kirby Smart. He's going back home. It's an awesome environment, but yikes, I would lean Georgia, but I might not even touch this game.
Right,
This
you
is
can't. I mean,
just
this is one of those ones that might watch it and play it in game, but as far as betting, can't touch this game.
I don't know. Caesar, I hope you're right. I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be on Rainmaker's side. A lot of people are going to take Alabama at home. Look, I'm already getting my Bama people.
The book's
already
going to
texting
need
me.
Bama.
They're
Yeah.
already texting me. My Bama people are already texting me. So
I want to go.
Just saying, like, Penn State, all these games, you can take it all. The game of the weekend, Alabama, Georgia, stop what you're doing. Watch this game. It's going to be awesome.
Absolute must.
It could be a rematch in the championship game. This could be a preview between what we'll see this coming January between these two.
I just told my wife at breakfast. I said, Saturday, 4:00, I'm out. She said, what? I said, Georgia is playing Bama. She's like, ooh, that's going to be a good game. I said, it's going to be a great game.
It's going to be a great game.
Can't wait.
It's going to be awesome.
Lead up the whole day. We got game day there in the morning. Everybody, it's going to be awesome.
Epic
wait.
Game. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Number 8, Oregon is up. It's at UCLA. Is a 24-point favorite. UCLA was a 20-point dog plus at LSU last week. Since 1990, and this is from our friends at the Action Network. This is from our guy. We got to get Evan on. Evan Abrams got to come on because this guy creates such incredible work for the Action Network. UCLA has never been a dog of 20 or more points in back-to-back games since 1990.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of football between 1990 and 2024. We've never seen UCLA be this big of a dog, and they didn't cover last week, right? LSU came back in the second half and covered.
LSU won 34-17.
So they did cover. Okay.
Yeah,
so they covered that number.
I think it was final 34-17.
Can you lay 24 with Oregon here? Since 2000, Oregon is 11-6-1 ATS against UCLA.
First thought would be to lay it. I think UCLA is in trouble.
I would agree. I think Oregon's going to crush some people. And this is a Big Ten game, by the way. Just in case you're curious, this is a Big Ten game.
Strange.
Oregon, UCLA is a Big Ten game. Like, wait, what? How is that possible? It's a Big Ten conference game.
Yeah, that is weird. Although the Pac-12 may come back, Jack.
We'll get to that later. I'm going to hold that and see if we get our boy Adam Hill to come in here and he can explain. Otherwise, we'll talk about it. Wisconsin is playing USC in a Big Ten game. They do not play well on the West Coast. Wisconsin is 1-4 ATS in the Pacific time zone. They've only played 5 games in the Pacific time zone since 2005. USC is a 16-point favorite against Bucky in Wisconsin.
Couple Rose Bowls, right?
I think so. Yeah. Right.
It's
been a while.
Jeez. USC coming off of that loss.
It's a decent bounce back spot. It's a big number. It's like, I don't like Wisconsin at all. I faded Wisconsin 2 times already this year. I may do it again. I'm not a fan of Wisconsin. So if I'm betting,
score.
Their defense isn't very good either. They're just not good. Wisconsin's not good. So like, I think
I'm
USC
seeing
is the
them
side.
through the lines or through the eyes of getting their asses whooped by Alabama, though.
Or not covering against FCS opponents.
Yeah.
They're not very good. Bama killed them. I faded them against Bama. I took Bama. Bama killed them. Bama in the first half in that game. I bet against them in their first game. Yeah, I don't like Wisconsin this year. So
LL said they're starting a different kid at quarterback.
They're not starting
quarterback. It says.
Okay. Good luck there.
No.
Good luck there. Yeah. Nah. Sorry. Nope. Yes, your Big Ten survivors with the BVB. Gonna get hard, guys.
This is exactly the week that I said when we looked at this thing. I said, "Man, this is when the shit is going to hit the fan."
Yeah, week 5.
Sorry, Will. I had to get that one out. I think I got one out earlier.
You did. You said it during Joe with Joe. You already said it on that.
That's right. Joe. Yeah, Joe tried to put the.
So
Skeen's not as the rookie of the year. I'm just trying to get over that.
For the first time since 2016, Miami is 4-0, not just straight up, but they're 4-0 against the number. Only the 3rd time in the last 30 years.
Are they good?
They're 16-1 to win it all, and they're minus 180 to make the college football playoff.
Are they good?
I think they are, yes. I bet them over on their win total for that reason. I bet them to make the playoffs at plus 220 for that reason. I've got 2 tickets on Miami. I like Miami a lot. Cam Ward, his swag fits perfectly with that Miami team. And they beat the dog shit in the second half out of South Florida. That was a game in the first half, and then they punished them in the second half.
But are they good?
Yes.
Like Indiana good?
Indiana's not good.
Indiana's not good?
No.
Talking about.
Okay. When they play somebody for real, come talk to me.
Indiana's a 7-point favorite at home this week against Maryland.
Okay. Maryland's not good either.
Whoa!
Maryland's not good either. Maryland's not good. Michigan State beat them. You know, we've seen a bunch of teams. Michigan, no, they're not good. Maryland's not good.
Maryland's not good.
No, I'm not a fan of Maryland at all. So Illinois should win the game.
Miami is good.
Miami is good. Miami has a lot of money, and they have spent a lot of it. They have given. This is the perfect program to be rebuilt through the NIL functions because they got money down there. They love to celebrate the U. They love when they're good, and they'll pay. I mean, they paid Cam Ward millions.
Who's Miami playing this week? I can't find it.
They're off.
Oh, they're on a bye.
They're off. Yeah.
I've been searching for the game for 5 minutes.
A lot of teams are on bye weeks this week. A lot of teams off. Short schedule.
Why are we talking about Miami with all these good games?
Because that's a tremendous number. 16-1 to win it all is a great number.
Man,
James Franklin.
James
Franklin since 2016 in top 20 matchups. Penn State as a 14 or more point favorite. It's 31-21 ATS.
You remember the movie Goodfellas?
Yes.
Jimmy 2 times?
Yes.
Mac gave me this one. I never heard it.
Okay.
This is Jimmy Covers. James Franklin. His nickname is Jimmy Covers.
That's what he does.
Because that's what he does.
6 to 24 points. 17-0-1. 31-21 is a favorite of 14 or more points. I mean, that's impressive. Double digits, 14 points, more than 2 touchdowns. The guy's 31-21 ATS, and they're laying 18.5 against Illinois. What does this number close at? Am I right? 19.5?
Somebody's going to buy it if it gets to 20.
I would assume. That's my point. Yes, I assume
19
20
is like a
20 seems the 20 seems like the headline.
You don't got to give it away. See if they'll take 19.
Okay.
I mean, I see what Circa's doing right now. I mean, they're just testing the water. We got to see if anybody's going to buy. Watch them stay a half a point ahead of the market.
Okay.
To see if they could get the first bet on the dog.
Okay.
I don't know. That's the Tuesday move, Wednesday move. I love when books are just running the book. Like they're not taking a stand. Just trying to price discover. Where somebody come in and bet us, please, so we can tell when we're going to stop.
20. I agree, Zach. 20 is the number. I agree.
In Illinois, just Zach.
Yeah. I want 17, which is what I got last night. So Illinois got the better quarterback. Come on. Wow. Don't think I agree with that. And I like the quarterback for Illinois, but this is not Nebraska, guys. I mean, sorry.
Oh boy, would you let Nebraska go?
Just saying, Illinois play. I mean,
I've had a rough weekend.
Let's say it, Illinois. This is like everyone talking about who you're playing offensively wise. You're not playing Nebraska's defense. You're not playing the Huskers. You're playing Penn State. It's a different level. Okay, this is a different bar. Just a fact. Just a different level of talent on the other side of the football. So, like, Illinois is not going to run the ball at like 8-yard clips against Penn State like they did against Nebraska. It's not happening. Okay. So I don't know how Illinois is moving the football. Explain to me how they're moving the football because they ran all over the Huskers. You're not running all over Penn State. At Penn State.
Does it feel too high, though?
The total or the number?
The spread.
It's high. No, I agree. It's why I wanted 17. I was like, I'm not.
I mean, this ain't Kent State.
I was watching it going like, this is a Big Ten game at 17. No. I want 17. I don't want 17 and a half. I don't want 18. I don't want 18 and a half. I don't want 19. It's why I bought it down to 17. It's because that's what number I wanted. Wanted 17, bought it last night. So it just, again, it only matters. The juice only matters if you lose. And I think Penn State's got a great chance of winning and covering. And we know what James Franklin will do. If they're up by 16 points and they're in field goal range, he's going to kick it. Just forget knees. This guy does not kneel down for anybody. Like he just kicks it. So you got to get over 17, 18, 19. 20 feels like the number he may not want to do it. So
17 feels high.
You like the hat? You like this is the Chef Benny Celtics model.
Celtics, yeah.
This is for the home trip. I love that he added the 18X. It's great. Someone stopped me on the plane, was like, 18X Celtics? Yeah. What's the hat? My show. Oh, really? That's neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. I'm on, you guys.
Weird on the one side of the hat.
Oh, Dodgers. Texas is 4-0 straight up and 4-0 against the spread. That's the first time since 2008. If Texas closes at the current number of 34 or higher, it's the biggest dog line for Mississippi State since 1990.
That's absurd.
And they're going to cover it.
Mississippi State just got
Sucks
whacked
by Florida. Texas is going to kill them. Kill them.
Arch lighting it up.
Is he starting? Is it Arch again?
Yeah.
We know that for a fact?
Yeah, they got to keep Ewers out. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what they said last week.
Well, that was because of just, it was a cupcake team. So it was.
This isn't a cupcake team? Come on.
This is a conference game, though. This is different. That was non-con. This is conference. This is an important game. I mean, you can't take any game in the SEC lightly. Ask Missouri what happens when you take somebody lightly.
LL says we'll know Wednesday. Ewers has been practicing.
That's what I thought. Okay. That makes sense.
He ain't playing.
If he can play, I bet he plays. If he's healthy, I bet he plays. No, Mississippi State's not the worst Power 4 team. They're one of, but not the worst. There's some pretty
Power
bad.
4 now? That's what we're calling it, CBW?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. There's some bad. North Carolina's really bad. North Carolina's really, really bad.
And Kent State is a MAC team, so they're not a Power 5.
Yeah, right.
Or Power 4.
Yes. We have two games this year, or this weekend rather, between top ranked teams playing each other. Last 5 years, ranked favorite versus ranked dog. The favorite is covering at a 57% clip.
Okay.
124, 92, and 5. Okie State is at Kansas State. K-State's the favorite. They're laying 5. I don't like
5.
I don't like either one of these teams.
5. The book doesn't even like it.
Okay.
You start at 5? Wow. A lot of 5s with this one. 5 and 55.5 for the total. Clueless. Everybody's clueless. Bettors, books.
Yeah, I don't like this game. I don't like these teams. I don't like either team.
Man, this is brutal. I don't know. This is a trash game.
It is. But it's ranked teams. Trash game, but it's ranked versus ranked. So it's one of the biggest games of the weekend.
It's not one of the biggest games of the weekend. It's one
yes,
of them. It involves ranked teams. That's fine.
This is a big game in the Big 12.
9 o'clock in the morning Pacific.
Big game. In the Big 12, this is a big game.
I guess in the big game. In the Big 12, it's a big game. I'll give you that. Overall, it's not a big game.
The other game that has ranked versus ranked is Louisville at Notre Dame.
Is this a big game?
For Notre Dame's schedule, when we were breaking it down, this was a game that people were circling, yes, as a potential loss for the Irish, even at home.
It is, isn't it?
So it still could be, yeah. But I mean, if you're the coaching staff and you want to stick around next year, you better win this game. You can't beat this game. You can't lose it. Yes, I agree. Notre Dame cannot lose. They cannot lose that game. They cannot.
They really can't lose another game.
No, correct. They cannot lose another game.
I mean, 10-2.
Oh, wrong team's favored.
Roger.
Stealing the least Sterling line.
Roger.
That's least favorite. No, least favorite line.
Favorite. I don't know. That's a 12:30 game. Is that a big game? Wow. Maybe it is.
Again, there's not a ton other than Alabama, Georgia, which takes all the heat and the energy out of the entire weekend. This is a lot of teams are on buys. A lot of teams are off this week in college football.
I think there's some really intriguing games. I mean, the Wisconsin USC game's intriguing. Fresno State UNLV is a massive game.
Well, let's talk about that. Okay, so we were going to have Adam Hill on, but I think Adam's tied up. So UNLV and Utah State could both move to the Pac-12. There are multiple reports flying around about this. Now, we were texting with our guy, Joe Arrigo, yesterday a little bit about it. There's a lot of moving pieces about this because UNLV very well might be tied to Nevada And Joe told us that during the interview, which he came on here, and he said there's a problem because Nevada and UNLV both have the same board of regents. And so when negotiating with UNLV, if you aren't going to take Nevada to the Pac-12, that's going to make some people on that board uneasy, and it may be a package deal. If it's a package deal, nobody wants Nevada. Sorry if you're a UNR person, but nobody wants Nevada. So the Mountain West this morning sued the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 turned around and sued the Mountain West. So we have a whole lot of lawyers going on here with how much money is going to be owed to from the 4 state schools.
Yeah,
that all proclaimed that they are leaving to go to the Pac-12 starting in 2026. But UNLV wasn't one of the teams that was admitted. Utah State, according to documents that were put in a lawsuit today, Utah State said, or the lawyer said, that Utah State was admitted to the Pac-12 yesterday.
yeah.
Utah State's already in. UNLV is not. If you were UNLV, Dave, would you stay in the Mountain West Conference for more money, or would you go to the Pac-12 for a chance for an auto bid to the playoffs?
It's crazy because I was texting with Adam in the middle of the night. This kid never sleeps either.
Mhm.
I mean, it's crazy. And we were texting. I was trying to get him lined up for the show, and he's like, "There's a press conference. We're going to find out more." Arrigo was last night texting. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer right now.
Okay.
But somehow, by waiting and doing nothing, UNLV is gaining leverage every day. They're bidding almost against each other, the Mountain West, to keep it together, because literally it's going to go the way the Pac-12 did.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pac-12 is bidding to resurrect itself from 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gonzaga's the weird one, though, because Gonzaga, they will join. They don't have football, but Gonzaga wants to be part of the Pac-12 because they want to get out of the Mountain West Conference and they want to play. I mean, let's be honest, if you have a conference with Fresno State, a conference with Oregon State and Washington State, and you start talking about these West Coast schools, Boise State and whatnot, it's a much better basketball conference than it is a football conference. So you add Gonzaga to that conference and you got a legitimate conference. Like, it's a really good basketball conference, and it's better than the West Coast Conference that Gonzaga is currently part of. So it's just awkward. You're going to allow Gonzaga to be in as a full-fledged member without football, which is the main cog to all of this.
just can't believe the business that it's become. Like, it's always been a business. But this college football, college conference alignment, and all this other stuff, they made a hasty decision to break up the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, again, we got Big Ten games with UCLA and USC and Oregon and all this other stuff. None of it makes any sense. This is our neighborhood. This is weird. Like the Mountain West basketball conference, the conference tournament, I've been going since I moved here. Like, it's a fun thing, and there's a real.
But the Pac-12's fun too, though. Pac-12 tournament's fun in
The
Vegas.
Pac-12 is lately, but it didn't have the same. I think, again, the UNLV tie to all of it made the Mountain West feel just different.
It was at UNLV too. It was at Thomas and Mack. So like they're not going to get that in the Pac-12. Pac-12s aren't going to go play on their home court.
Well, no, they played in LA.
T-Mobile.
They played in Utah. They played in Arizona. They played that thing in cities where there were teams.
Yep.
But I just think that the Mountain West has. I mean, they're this close to being nothing again.
Yeah. So according to Yahoo Sports and Ross Dellinger, who wrote a really big article on this morning about what is happening and how this is all going down, UNLV is going to be offered, or has been offered, the same financial package that the Mountain West Conference offered to Air Force, and Air Force signed it.
Right.
It's a $10 million bonus, signing bonus, to stay in the Mountain West Conference. So the Mountain West Conference commissioners set a deadline of yesterday at 5:00 Mountain Time for schools to sign a deal. That deadline passed with UNLV not doing anything.
Not signing it, yeah.
Not signing anything. So now you have to have 8 members to be an FBS conference. So Utah State is out. That means there's only 7 full-time members,
right? Because
Hawaii is only part of football, and that's it. So the Pac-12 has Utah State now as a part of it. They're at 7 for 2026. So back to your point about UNLV just sitting, watching and letting go. All of a sudden, they swing which conference is actually going to be considered an FBS conference.
It's unbelievable.
So they're in a driver's seat of driver's seats from a negotiating standpoint.
Right.
UNLV can just sit back and go, come on, what offer are you guys going to make us? Who's giving us the best offer? Competition-wise, name brand-wise, I would go to the Pac-12 if I was UNLV.
It's been an easy answer without a doubt. I think that's an overwhelming favorite when you look at short-term viability and long-term potential
and branding.
I think both tilt the scales that way. And then it comes down to the bag.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm watching it and I'm just, and again, thinking about life. And sometimes, people ask us, what are you guys doing to grow the show? What are you guys going to end up? Where are you guys doing this? Sometimes doing nothing, just doing you is enough. Right now, UNLV beats Fresno on Saturday. And they're getting their way into the top 25.
Yep.
They're getting their way into, there are going to be people talking about and watching that game on Saturday that's going to elevate this discussion. They don't got to do nothing right now.
I am only a 10-year resident, almost 9-year plus resident of UNLV and of Vegas. You have been 20 plus years. I've been teaching at UNLV now. This is going on my 5th year of teaching at UNLV. This is by far the biggest UNLV sporting event on Friday night against Fresno State that I can ever remember in my nearly 10 years of living in Nevada. This is a massive game.
Yeah.
Because if they fall on their face and lose,
it'll suck.
It'll suck because they got a game with Syracuse coming up. If they win over Fresno and they beat Syracuse, they will have beaten 2 Big 12 teams and 1 ACC team in the non-conference. And they really will have one big game. That one big game will be Boise State, who's pretty beatable. And if they beat Boise and they run the table, they're going to be undefeated and they're going to be in the college football playoffs. UNLV will get their doors blown off by Georgia or whoever the whoever the 5 seed one. Whoever the 5 seed winds up being. It could be Alabama.
I don't want to see him play Georgia. I don't.
Okay, Alabama, Georgia, whoever they're going to play somebody in the top. I mean, whoever the top 5. You have the top 5 champions, but they're going to be whatever seed they're going to wind up being. They're going to be on the road, and they're going to get killed.
Yeah,
they get killed. But who cares? The question is Barry Odom. If Barry Odom takes UNLV to an undefeated season and they go to the playoffs, Barry Odom is not staying in Las Vegas next year. He's getting a bag thrown at him. But I know it's tough. It's I can't wait to see what UNLV does. There's going to be all sorts of big hype, big men on campus, kids' heads getting swelled. This is going to be difficult for Barry Odom to keep these guys from not getting caught up in the hype that will be around these next couple of games. Huge game. Fresno could beat them. If they aren't prepared, if they aren't focused, if they're looking ahead to other games, Fresno can beat them.
So Adam said he can't join us today. The Pac-12 filing the lawsuit.
Yes. Okay.
Threw everything into complete
chaos.
Yeah.
Because it really is nuts. I mean, they're asking, I think the Mountain West Conference is asking them for $40 million in exit fees. So the Pac-12 is saying, get out of here.
You say 40?
40 million. Yeah.
40
million. Yeah. Because they have a lot of money. Frankly, they have all the money coming in from the schools that left. Oregon State and Washington State have a ton of money. So they have it. They have the liquid funds to pay that if they wanted to, or if the judge tells them they have to. So there's lawyers on lawyers on lawyers, but the Mountain West Conference believes they're being wronged here. And so they need that 40 million to then go offer other schools. I mean, they want to bring in UTEP. Cal State Fullerton is on the docket to go get. Mountain West Conference is not going to replace Boise or UNLV or these, relative name brand schools in the Mountain West Conference. The Mountain West Conference is going to be on life support. It's going to be difficult. So I can't wait to see what happens with this. UNLV will win. Okay. LL. All right. Well, let's see. But A lot of money in lawsuits flying around. So maybe we can catch Adam tomorrow. All right, a couple of baseball games to get into. Mets Braves, biggest game of the day.
Yep.
Monster. Severino, Swellenback. Braves are home favorites. Mets are a game and a half up.
Close the poll on the worst 0-3 team. It's an actual race between the Jags and the Titans. That was pretty interesting.
48-45. Titans win slightly.
Right. And the Bengals 0-3. Nobody's worried about them. Give them a poll for this game because this is hard. This is not an easy just bet the Mets.
Right.
Although I really want the Mets. I didn't get really a chance to ask Joe about that, but I think the Mets are so live in the playoffs. If they get in here, which I think they're going to get in here, because are they going to get swept by Atlanta? I think that's their only way in.
Yes.
If Atlanta sweeps the Mets, which I don't think is going to happen.
2-game lead in the loss column, so you can't. They
got to sweep them.
2-1 or 1-2 doesn't get it done.
No. Yeah. I don't know. Again, people are going to pick the Mets. So far, picking the Mets.
What's this?
I'd lean Mets right now. I mean, it's plus 130. So minus click refresh. Minus 135 in a couple of places. Minus 140 in others. 7.5's the total.
Oh, wow, it's down. Okay.
Yeah, 7.5. That's a right total. You like anything in the game?
No, come on. You know better than ask me that.
What do you mean? It's last week. You're not going to dabble a little?
I did actually tonight.
Playoff like baseball, baby.
I've one play tonight.
Baseball play?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's Tuesday. I have no choice.
I thought you were done.
I am until there's nothing to bet on. Literally nothing.
It's WNBA today. I figured you were coming with the WNBA.
I thought those games were tomorrow. I bet a game tonight. I thought it was tonight. It's not. It's tomorrow.
Aren't there 2 games today?
There are 2 games today. I bet Phoenix and Minnesota thinking it was tonight. It's tomorrow.
Oh,
only Atlanta, New York, and Seattle, Vegas is tonight.
Right. I figured for sure you had to play in Vegas.
No, I think the under. I think Seattle, Vegas is the under.
Okay.
In that game, but now the Mutts. 2-0 Tigers. By the way, right now, big game for the Tigers if they get that. Miami and the Twins. Tigers win. Twins need to win to keep pace.
What's this number? Minus 250?
Yeah, it's high.
Crazy. Who in the hell's laying 250 with the Twins in this spot? Nobody. Good luck. I would absolutely take the run line with Miami. I wouldn't touch Minnesota right now. No, I'm good. You?
I don't know. I don't think Miami wins this game. I think the Twins are at home. The Twins win this game. I don't know if I'd want to lay 250, but I think the Twins do win.
Yeah.
They have to. Knowing the Tigers are going to win this game 2-0 over the Rays, I feel like it's a must.
Prezano's in the text. Prezano is a Mets. He said, I'm a Mets fan.
The collapse is coming.
The collapse is coming?
Braves sweep them?
Come on, Prezano. Like, believe. Like, why don't baseball fans of teams that have not had success? Like, why don't they believe? Just won't believe
I mean, it's because you have the Diamondbacks so you have the Mets at 87 and 69, the Diamondbacks at 87 and 70, and the Braves at 85 and 71. The Braves are 1 loss behind the Diamondbacks and 2 losses behind the Mets. The problem is the Diamondbacks are playing the Giants.
Yeah.
And they should beat up on them, in my opinion, in this series.
They get the Giants. Well, they got Logan Webb tonight.
But the Giants are out of it. They're
eliminated. But the Giants just, I mean,
they've won 4 in a row, though.
I was going to say, they took care of who over the weekend?
Giants have won 4 in a row over the Royals. They swept the Royals, and they beat the Diamondbacks 6-3 yesterday.
Excuse me. Yes, that's so. Like the Giants have messed up the Royals' chances of making the playoffs.
100%.
Nothing to play for. I'd be nervous.
Giants win total's alive for Rosie. Okay.
Boy, Rosie, Giants win total alive.
Red Sox got me there. Win total over for the Red Sox hit.
They won last night or no? 2 days ago.
They've won. The Red Sox have won a bunch of games in a row.
Yeah.
Sox
so you're over?
Yeah.
It's done. Okay. That's
I
good.
said 80 wins. So they've won 3 games in a row. They're 79 and 78. So I think they'll get to 80. I said 80 and 82 for the Red Sox. So we'll see if they wind up getting, I think they will. They'll get to 80. So not a great year, but not a horrible year for the Red Sox. Much like the Patriots. It won't be a good year, but it won't be a horrible year for the Patriots. They'll win 5 games. Red Sox are going to win 80.
5-12 stinks.
Not when you're rebuilding with a rookie quarterback. No, it's fine. Get me a top 5 draft pick next year and let's go. I'm good about that. So we'll roll. The 80.5 is, you need 2 wins for the Giants. Possible. It's possible. Diamondbacks got over on their win total. Marlins were under on their win total. I don't believe I'm getting the white. I need every loss to come on here for the Rockies. They're 60 and 96. I bet under 60.5 wins. They've got to win every game, lose every game. They can't beat anyone.
Rakesh, we did not talk about the Thursday night football game yet, and we are not going to talk about it today.
No,
we will talk about that on Thursday. That's Giants and Cowboys.
You
excited about that game?
No, not at all.
I'm more excited about the UNLV game than I am about the Giants and the Cowboys. I mean, I'm not besmirching either team, although I kind of am.
You kind of am, but I'm with you. It's a quick better. Better to book it. Dodgers, Padres over 8.
Really?
Gonna roll. Everyone says under. Everyone's betting under.
Yeah.
2 pitchers. Dodgers are gonna give up runs tonight. Padres score 4.
No problem, Rakesh. It's Tuesday, so we're not talking about that Thursday game. Wow. Why do you like this game over?
Dodgers just have been over, and they give up runs.
They have been overs.
Every game, they're 12-0-1. Last 13 games to the over.
Last time you made a baseball bet, maybe you're due.
Last week.
You got to be due.
Ride the streak.
Ride the streak. Rainmaker Lou.
Everyone's betting under. You make it. Is it 7.5 yet?
No.
Or still 8?
8.
Okay.
Oh my God. I'll say it. I don't care.
The last 2 times I have bet overs on 8, it's pushed.
Right.
So I like the 8 for a push. You know, I was so happy about last night. I was so excited. I started jumping up and down. Do you know what happened last night?
Title shot?
No, I got my first flash score. I got my
Such a nerd.
I got my first flash score update of a hockey goal. Of hockey. I was so happy. Amanda was like, "What are you so happy about?" I'm like, "I got my first flash score. It's back. Hockey's back." She's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like, there's an app that's ahead of everyone else that alerts me when a goal scores. It's like 2 minutes ahead of the TV. She's like, "Why does that matter?" I go, "It matters to me." I go, "It's so fun." I go, "It's so much ahead. It's the fastest speed." She's like, "Why does that matter?" I go, "It doesn't. It's just really fun for hockey."
Such a geek.
So awesome. It was the Calgary game. I was like, "Calgary, let's go." I was so excited. And Addison started sending me DMs going like, "Why are you?" He's sending me plays. He's like, "Hey, bet the preseason game because the Sabres sent all their players to Germany. Bet the Sabres." I'm like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Sorry. I was like, "We're betting preseason hockey?" We're betting preseason hockey? I was like, I don't know if I can stomach betting preseason hockey.
What have we done?
Oh yeah, it's so fun, right, Addison? we're betting gifts. So there we go. Yeah, so I was so excited. All right, we're betting that.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think I don't love it at all, but you're due.
I didn't have flash scores. The thing that Matt's most excited about was visiting Amanda.
She's
fair.
Maybe she's gonna watch a show later. Maybe.
Fair.
Or does she watch the show with you there?
Well, she watches the show to see when we're done. So yeah, she watches the show. She has it on her phone or she has it on the TV or whatever. So yeah, she puts the show on for sure. It does not take me much to make me happy. That is true, Boost Player. I'm easy. Yeah, I'm pretty simple.
She looks at it on the phone. It's the most.
Oh, it's on my watch. It comes on my watch, and I go, "There's the Calgary score."
I mean, on the watch. Yeah, on the watch.
It's a Calgary score.
Look, hey.
She's like, "What do you care
could be
about?"
in the middle of a conversation with them.
Yep, and I'm like, "Oh look,"
and he's like, "Oh look,
go."
Cool.
I love it.
It's
so good. It's so good. Okay, so do you like Penn State, by the way, minus 17?
17, maybe. It's going to get out of control. And
It's going to marathon run.
Yeah. Again, I don't know enough right now. We'll see by the time it gets to Saturday. Weather, all that other stuff. When there's supposed to be a hurricane hitting Florida.
That's even better. That's even better.
Blow up.
That's even better. Penn State run the ball down the throat. Even better.
Oh, yeah.
Illinois can't throw. All they can do is run, make them one-dimensional. Penn State. You guys might score. Illinois might score on you guys. There's weather in the area. If they can't run the football or can't throw the football and it's one-dimensional and Penn State can just pin their ears back and go after the running game, Illinois is not going to move the ball.
Bowling Green moved the ball in Penn State.
Yeah, because they weren't taking them seriously. This is a Big Ten game. Different story. This is different. Penn State will be ready. They'll be ready for this.
I hope you're right.
They'll be ready for this. This is a conference game at home. So, wow. Right. Dodgers is now up to 8.5. People are betting the over. Wow. Although they never do that, though. FanDuel always needs to do. Call me, Jared says late 28. Alt line. Woo!
On Penn State?
Oh, Illinois outlight. ATLQ, stop. You're just poking Dave now. Stop it.
I don't know.
I like Illinois. I'm 2-0 betting Illinois games. It ain't happening. Not against Penn State's defense. It's not happening.
You're very high in Illinois.
I do like. I'm 2-0 betting Illinois. Just not this week. I don't like Illinois. For you guys who are watching live, don't move. If you guys are watching on the replay on Sports Grid TV or listening on Sirius XM, thank you for being here. We're going to do a favorite thing about today. If you want to hear it, come on over to our YouTube channel or go listen to the podcast for us. For that, search at Boston versus the Book for that. Bonus time starts now. I like Burt Ball. I do too. Just not this game. Can't do it. Sorry. Not this team. Not against this team. Favorite thing about today is what?
Me thinking of you explaining
flash score
on your watch.
Why does this matter?
Like, and going, I could see and hear you getting excited about it and trying to explain it.
And she's like, why do I care about any of this? Like, what do you care about preseason hockey for? I go, it's not that. It's that hockey's coming back. That means hockey's going to be here soon. And she loves hockey. We're going to Brooks's hockey practice here at 4:00 at top of the hour. So I haven't been in a rink to watch him practice hockey before. So it's going to be fun to go watch that and hang out and watch some hockey. And
might have to FaceTime. That'll be good.
I haven't been in there for hockey practice for a while.
I almost peed my pants just now, literally like Bob Uecker. But a couple things. Favorite thing about today. One, the Phillies clinched yesterday.
Yeah.
And Bryson Stott was wearing a UNLV football helmet in the
celebration.
It was awesome. I was just like, and I'm getting texts and DMs from people going, why is Bryson Stott wearing a UNLV helmet? Well, because that's where he went to school there, and that's where he's from. And he has it, so it's exciting. That's number one. Number two is the fact that we have what was I going to say? Damn it. Never mind. That's it. Number three was this morning, appointment, me and Jess went, another doctor's appointment, got a couple texts like, hey, everything good with the follow-ups and this and that. I wore to Take Care of Your Chicken t-shirt today.
There we go.
Certain shirts that I wear to the docs, just with everything going on. Sometimes it's a Muhammad Ali shirt that say keep fighting, keep working. Today I was like, what am I going to wear? I'm going to Take Care of Your Chicken t-shirt, because you got to remind you, me, everybody in the brigade, take care of your chicken means take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Amen. That's what we kind of do here every day when we do the show. Everybody comes in, commiserates back and forth. We love you all for doing it. Oh, yeah, number three. That's what I wanted to remember. Leave a podcast review on the podcast app. Type something in there, because we got another one over the weekend. But I'm going from here to the post office to mail out a bunch of hats for those of you that have replied back to the hats. Text the text number 702-570-8255, and we'll find out a way to get your hat. I answered a couple emails. I answered a couple chats in here. WV Punch Drunk 1, your hunger strike can be over. This dude has come in the chat every day since last week and said he's going on a hunger strike until he gets a hat. it's a joke. He's
Okay.
really not. But
Okay.
he's earned a hat last time we did this. So he's getting a hat. Congratulations to him. You guys can get a hat. Find out a way to get a hat like P-Rolt's got on. You don't have to get the Celtics colors, but it does look pretty damn good. So does
pops.
plus 325 to win it all.
Again? Oh, man. Back to back.
Plus 325.
Back to back. If nothing, let's get to the finals and hedge off of it. But yeah, not horrible. For me, just like you, I went to the doctors this morning, and it's great to get clean bill of health, even though I'm still hurt. My back is still messed up. My back's not broken. So we got x-rays, and my back is just messed up, and we can do some rehab, and we can do some physical therapy and whatnot. We can get that. And then tonight, I'm having a full circle moment, Vegas to New Hampshire. So some of you guys have watched the show America's Got Talent. There's a show called Recycled Percussion, which has guys from New Hampshire. They headlined for 10 years in Las Vegas at the Luxor. So Justin and I have been texting back and forth for I don't know how many months now. So I'm having dinner at the lead singer Justin's house. So Amanda Brooks and I are going over to the guys for Recycled Percussion tonight here in New Hampshire because he literally lives like a mile down the road.
That's awesome.
So we've been having, so it's going to be fun to go hang out with them. He played at Brooks's school. So Brooks is super excited to go meet him because he gets to go and hang out with the guy that performed at his school and whatnot.
Very cool.
Chaos in Kindness is their brand. If you ever check it out, their mission really is amazing. What they do for trying to remove the stigma that a lot of people or society has placed on neurodivergent children. And so it's a cool thing. So I'm really excited about having that opportunity to talk with Justin and see what's going on. So he was in Vegas for 10 years with him and his family, and now they're back in New Hampshire after leaving, and they're still doing tours around town. They played a concert on the top of Mount Washington last weekend. So, and supposedly he's running 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents. Supposedly he's doing this.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's a joke or not, but
is that possible?
It's a race. They do 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days.
Okay, but not 7 back-to-back days.
Oh no, 7 days in a row. 7 marathons, 7 days. You can do it. You run, and then you know, different continent. You run, then you plane, and you fly over and do it again, and then I don't know, like I'll find out the details tonight. I'll report back tomorrow. Okay. That was a serious post that he made, but he made a post saying, I'm going to be the only non-runner in this group of people who do this race every year, which is 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents.
Yeah, it can't be 7 consecutive days. That's a lot of flights.
I'll find out. He's got the money to do it. I mean, he can afford it. If he wants to do it, he can afford it. But he's a big sports bettor, so it's going to be a fun conversation tonight. So we'll talk to him about Vegas and living in Vegas and whatnot. I'll report back coming up tomorrow. So
sweet.
He's Dave. I am Matt. We are back tomorrow for a Wednesday, a whale watch Wednesday.
Yes.
Alex Kane and Sport Trade will be joining us. We'll break down what's happening in the betting world and everything happening with Sport Trade coming up tomorrow. Arizona's close. They're getting close to Arizona. So we'll have some fun with that coming up tomorrow for Sport Trade. Dave, Matt, hope to see you all tomorrow for a whale watch Wednesday.